Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Dan 2x15 on Xbox Live, and welcome to the WWE Elimination Chamber predictions. Yes, the last time we did the predictions, it was for the Royal Rumble, and this time it's Elimination Chamber. So for you guys that are brand new to watching my channel and don't know what this is all about, this is how my predictions work. I pick two predictions, maybe a few more depending on the WWE pay-per-view itself. The first prediction is, who do I think is going to win? And in this case it's Alberto Carrillo versus the United States Champion Andrade, as Andrade defends his title against Alberto here. And therefore, who I think is going to win is basically who WWE have booked to win, and therefore I think it will be Andrade. And who I want to win is Alberto Carrillo, giving Alberto Carrillo his first ever singles championship. And so that's my own personal opinion. So that's how the predictions work. I hope you enjoyed the rest of these predictions. So let's get this over. So let's do this. And therefore, as I just said, I think it'll be Andrade, and I want Alberto Carrillo to win. These two have had a big, long rivalry lately. It's a case of, Alberto injured, Andrade injured Alberto onto the outside, forcing him to go out of action. Then he went after Rey Mysterio, and then he went to do the same thing to Rey Mysterio. Alberto saved Rey Mysterio by dressing up as a fan with a Rey Mysterio mask and then revealing himself to be Alberto. Then he took out Andrade a week later. Then his cousin Angel Garza showed up a couple of weeks later, and then he had a short rivalry with him. Andrade returned at Super Showdown as part of that gauntlet match, so he is now back in action. Then they had a tag team match on Raw, in which Alberto's team picked up the victory, I believe. I think I can't remember who he pinned, but I'm pretty sure it was victory for Alberto Carrillo, I think. So that's a little short, reminder of what's happened and the reason why they're having this matchup. So there's my predictions for this matchup. As I said, I'm thinking Andrade and I want Alberto. So next match. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, as the Raw Tag Team Champions, or should I say the brand new Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, are going to defend the brand new tag team titles against Seth Rollins and Murphy. Now, I don't understand what's going on with WWE, because if I remember correctly, last year, WWE said, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and all that said, they're in the ring, and they said that it was going to be we were going to be the people in charge. So far that hasn't paid off, as if we were in charge, a whole different bunch of scenarios would be happening. And also, not only did they say that we was going to be in charge, but there was going to be no more rematches like this. So why do we keep getting rematches like this happen when they originally said that there wasn't going to have stuff like that happen? So I'm just confused, but it's going to happen anyway. This is kind of a match that is going to be a bit redundant, because we all know that the Street Profits are going to win because they just recently become the Tag Team Champions. There's definitely going to be some shenanigans to do with Kevin Owens that's going to interfere in this matchup. So, who do I think is going to win the matchup? It's the Street Profits. Who do I want to win the matchup? The Street Profits. as much as I like this brand new Monday Night Messiah in Seth Rollins, with his disciples like Buddy Murphy and AOP, helping those guys get over, which I like it. I love that whole new Monday Night Messiah helping the young guys get over. So, as you know, some people don't like it, some people don't, you know. But tough shit, it's happening. You either watch WWE or you don't. You can, or you don't. You know, I like the fact that these young guys are getting the time from WWE and the TV time on Monday Night Raw. The fact that you're pretty much on the main event every night, I don't think you can complain to people like Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins. Getting that main event push, as well as the Street Profits as the Raw Tag Team Champions. Personally, I love the way that things are going, and this feud between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins is still buckling, and we all know it's heading for WrestleMania. So, I love it. I love this storyline, and keep up the good work, WWE, because so far, we've had nothing but bad news from the world, and I kind of want to see good news come from my world. So, which consists of video games and wrestling and work and everything, but that's going off topic. This is WWE predictions. I'm gonna have to go on to the next match, but before I ramble on too much about other stuff that's happening. So, yeah, as I said, I think the Street Profits, and I want the Street Profits. Next match. Oh god, that sounded really... Well, this match is another Raw match, and it is a no disqualification match as AJ Styles takes on Aleister Black. The way for this is meant to be like a little build up towards the WrestleMania match where AJ Styles is going to face The Undertaker. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we've had really bad payoffs lately. There is one payoff I'll talk about in the future, but for now, it's Aleister to see what this happened when Aleister Black was about to have a match with Eric Rowan for the second time, and Aleister Black interrupted a promo between the OC an OC promo, and therefore they didn't like him, but interrupting by walking past. So they said, "Hey, you're Mr. Big Shot around here. You think you're Mr. Big Shot? And then we're gonna knock on your door." And they beat him up before his matchup. Almost cost him his match against him, and still, even after being beaten down by the OC, Aleister Black won that matchup against Eric Rowan. But, and then he went through practically all three members of the OC, even though he lost to AJ Styles, and then after the match he got beaten up because, well, you know, it's Aleister Black we're talking about here. So we know that the OC will probably get involved, but I think I got a feeling that somebody else will get involved in this no disqualifications match, as I think The Undertaker will get involved somehow, because The Undertaker, took Rey Mysterio's place in that gauntlet match where at Super Showdown. So that was a very interesting thing that I saw. So we are going to be seeing AJ Styles vs Undertaker at WrestleMania. This is just a match to distract us from that. So who do I think is going to win? AJ Styles. Even after all the shenanigans, I think they may end up making him beat Aleister Black to say, hey, if he could beat one creepy dude that rises up like he's a dead man, then AJ Styles can beat The Undertaker. Who do I want to win this matchup? Aleister Black. Keep this push up, man, and he'll be world champion in no time. Maybe not world champion, possibly face Andrade and beat Andrade for, misusing his wife. That would be a very good feud. Put that there, because, Selena Vega is the Aleister Black's his wife, and you know he's also the manager of Andrade. I reckon that would be a great storyline for the United States Championship. Maybe that could be his first singles championship win on Monday Night Raw after defeating AJ Styles. Faced Andrade at WrestleMania. Boom. AJ Styles can face Undertaker at WrestleMania. Boom. That's my predictions. But that's just my predictions for the Elimination Chamber. And well, I'll go on to. Well, this is the first SmackDown match of the night. Is on. No, 3, 2, 1, action. And this is the first SmackDown match on the card, and it's the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Now, in this match, 2 teams start, and each one team will come out every 90 seconds, maybe every minute or so. And the last team standing will be the tag team champions. So your elimination is killed by pinfall and submission. And you can only make them pin and submit inside the ring in order for elimination to count. Obviously, the numbers that they draw, there's 6 teams, so you know, the 2 teams will be, both members of the team members will be in the pod, and until they get released after like a minute or so. So in this matchup, we got the tag team champions John Morrison and The Miz. We got the New Day of Kofi Kingston and Big E. We got the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso. We got, as I like to call them, the Glorious Show-Offs. We also have the Lucha House Party of Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik, and we also have Heavy Machinery. Oh yeah, Tucker and Otis. Now I'm gonna make a bunch of predictions here. I'm gonna make predictions of who will be first, second, third, fourth, and fifth to come out, and who will be starting the matchup. So basically, fourth to come out, I should say, and who will be the 2 people to start the matchup. And I will put numbers next to, well, pretty much in between those people and when I think they will come out. Which is my own, not necessarily who I want. It's my own personal opinion, but it's not who I think WWE have booked. So it's who I want to come out, and that think. It's hard to explain, but I will also predict the winners and the eliminations. So I will put E for elimination first, and O for out first. No, actually, E is for E and T for entry, and I for elimination. So I'm gonna snap my fingers, and after that it will come up on the screen of the actual thing. And I reckon, because of Mandy Rose, I reckon either Robert Roode and Ziggler, or she will either course. This is what I think. Mandy Rose will somehow get inside the chamber once the doors open for her. Because this is what will happen. Lucha House Party will somehow do some big extreme flying move, casting themselves to be eliminated from the matchup by being caught by Big E with a big ending and a Trouble in Paradise from Kofi Kingston, and then 1, 2, 3 onto both at the same time or something like that. Then the doors will open so that they can roll out. Then Mandy Rose will walk down the ramp and get into the chamber to try and distract Ziggler while they're in the match, because I think it'll be those 3 and not Big E, I'm sorry, something will happen where let me try and say this again. Lucha House Party will be third to come in, while those 2 other teams are battling it out. Get in the way, get eliminated first. That'll be them out of the way. So while then the door opens, Mandy Rose comes down into the ring. Tucker looks at Mandy, and because he still loves him, he's still got feelings for her. And like she's standing on the apron saying, "No, turn around, turn around." And what happens? Super kicks. Like Robert Roode chucks maybe Tucker in the outside. I know what's going to happen. Mandy Rose will turn fully babyface, and I really hope that at WrestleMania it'll be Dolph Ziggler versus Otis, and then Mandy Rose fully turns babyface, joining, Tucker and Otis. I don't want her betraying Otis. Like maybe it could be an accidental thing here, but in WrestleMania, if they do have that matchup, I don't want that to be, her picking that heartthrob and over the big guy. Like, us big guys need love too, damn it. I know how everything feels. Getting the courage to ask somebody else like that. It's, I feel for it. So that'll be that little Carthago, leaving the Usos, Miz and Morrison, and a New Day. So, I'm pretty sure if I think it'll work explanatory there. These are going down to my two different scenarios. I think it'll be Miz and Morrison going on to WrestleMania, but I want the Usos to win the tag team titles, because I don't think any of the top three teams are going to win. Like, it'll still be going towards WrestleMania itself. So, even though I think I got a feeling there'll be a big payoff triple threat match at WrestleMania, and a New Day versus Miz and Morrison versus Usos in a tag team match or something, like we had a couple of years ago when we had the Hardy Boys return. But who do I, like I said, who I want to win? It's a tough one, but I want the Usos to win this Elimination Chamber. So in the bottom three, it really doesn't matter who gets eliminated last. It will be Miz and Morrison that will somehow, again, even though there's no disqualifications, somehow cheat to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Whether it be eliminating the New Day, or maybe this could be the final. Maybe we could have the start of that build up towards WrestleMania, where finally we see some cracks in the New Day. I really want to see that Big E push. And it can start an Elimination Chamber, where maybe he goes to hit the big ending. John Morrison pushes Big E into Kofi Kingston when he's going for a pin on the Usos, and it looks like he kicked him out, and Kofi's like, "Hey, why did you do that?" Or maybe Big E's going for a big ending onto one of the Usos. Kofi Kingston goes to hit a Trouble in Paradise, and hits the Trouble in Paradise until Big E causing him to get eliminated. And it looks like it was on purpose, but it's actually an accident type of deal. Something like the weeks before WrestleMania being in build up between Kofi and Big E when they have tag team matches against Miz and Morrison, and still held all this tension between them. That would be great. Maybe Xavier Woods in the build-up can try and keep the New Day together, even though he's injured. And, it can all come down to Kofi versus Big E at WrestleMania. That build-up will be awesome. But, yeah, those are my predictions for that match. I think it'll be Miz and Morrison. I want it to be the Usos. We'll carry on until the next match now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the next matchup. It's a bit of a confusing one, and I'm pretty sure this is going to go one way, and one way only. And that is Braun Strowman, still your Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, Braun Strowman's first ever singles championship reign is Intercontinental Champion is finally here, and he's holding the most ugliest belt in my opinion in history. I know it gives him that extra side plates, but Did you need to put it like that? You could at least make it look like the classic. Like, bring in a modern version of the old one. Like, put old and new together. Bang! And you got something you can still have. Like, make it look like the WWE Championship, but make it white and like a smaller shape. And have the word Intercontinental across it, and not like that. And it just looks like a New Japan belt, in my opinion. And like, I don't know. I don't like the new Intercontinental Championship, but I'm gonna put up with it and put up and shut up, because not unlike many other people that moan and groan about something, they don't go they keep yapping on about it. So I'm gonna stop yapping and talk about the championship match here. This is gonna fall to pieces real bad, because like, what happens if Sami, like, is it a case of if Sami Zayn pins Braun Strowman, he becomes an Intercontinental Champion, or is it because it was Nakamura's first match anyway, Nakamura becomes champion, or like, it's a 3-on-1? This is kind of confusing. What actually happens? They're gonna break down. These three people are gonna break down. It's gonna cost them the match, and then it'll be a squash match. Like, it'll be that goofy bit where one person goes for the pin, then the other one pulls him off, says, no, I'm gonna pin him. Like, there'll be a Kinshasa, Cesaro will pull him off, then Cesaro, Braun Strowman's getting back up, Cesaro does like a giant uppercut, he goes for a pin, and Sami Zayn picks him up, says, no, I'm gonna do it. Braun Strowman's getting back into the turnbuckle, Sami Zayn hits her over the kick, he goes through the pin, and then he gets dragged off by Shinsuke Nakamura. Then all three of them are arguing in between each other. And what happens at this time? Braun Strowman's getting back up, and like he taps like whoever's closest to him on the shoulder and says, he can jokingly say, well, actually, I'm gonna win. And then they all say, but out of it, or something like that. Like, Samson's like, but out of it, and he pokes him he slaps him on the chest or something like that. So and then Braun Strowman looks down and then looks at those three, and then the other three look at, oh crap. So then he beats them, like, they get they first off get the, because it's a 3-on-1, they get the upper hand at first. But also, is it a case of tagging in? Like, do they have to tag in together? So it's all very confusing in this handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship. So after all that, me going on about this matchup, who do I think is going to win? Braun Strowman! Who do I want to win? Braun Strowman! It's obvious that it may end up going to be a fatal 4-way match at WrestleMania. Just, again, that's the type of match it should have been, but hey, Sami Zayn's going to be in his first match in forever. So, we'll have to find out. We'll just have to find out at Elimination Chamber who's going to go to WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion. So, yeah. I want Braun Strowman, and I think Braun Strowman's going to win the Intercontinental, remain as your Intercontinental Champion. Until then, this next match. And now it's time for the Raw Elimination Chamber matchup. It is a women's Elimination Chamber matchup, which is going to be the main event. This is the third women's Elimination Chamber matchup. We've had a tag team women's Elimination Chamber matchup. We've had a normal women's Elimination Chamber matchup, and this will be the second singles women's Elimination Chamber matchup, while the winner of this matchup will face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. We already have Charlotte Flair that will be facing Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship, and I believe Bayley's got Naomi again. Charlotte, I don't know, one of those. Which, I don't know, somebody is going to be facing Bayley. I don't know. At this point, it could be anyone. But this is the Raw Women's Championship number 1 contenders match. as we have all former ex-members of the Riot Squad. We got Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott, which I believe should have their own triple threat match at WrestleMania anyway. If you're gonna try and at least remotely remember that Sarah Logan works there, you should give her a big match to be in. That's quite good. I like that. We also have one half of the Kabuki Warriors and one half of the Women's Tag Team Championships. At this point, as much as I like the idea of being Women Tag Team Champions, it's fallen flat on its ass because every Women's Tag Team Champions hardly defends it. Like the first ever ones, but Boston Hug Connection, Sasha Banks and Bayley, they hardly defended it. And when they did, they just went on to lose it at WrestleMania to the Iconics. Iconics had it for a long time, they lost it to the Kabuki Warriors. Now they are the longest reigning Women's Tag Team Champions, and they've done diddly squat. So I think WWE was better when they didn't have a Women's Tag Team Champions, because there's already four main champions, not to forget the ones on NXT to keep track of. So this is a lost opportunity for the tag team titles for the women's ones, but Asuka is there too in this matchup. She has lost to Becky Lynch and she has beaten Becky Lynch, so it's one apiece. So we could have the WrestleMania rematch, but Asuka will be the challenger perhaps. It's not going to be any of the members of the Riot Squad, that's for sure. Or former members of the Riot Squad. Definitely not Sarah Logan, definitely not Liv Morgan, possibly Ruby Riott, but I doubt it. Natalya, again, possibly her, but I doubt it. But there's no ifs, or there's no buts in this matchup. We could have just given her this opportunity, but I'm glad that there's going to be someone earning something, and it's going to be Shayna Baszler. There's no me going, I want this person, I want that person, because no matter who I say I want to win, at this point in time, I would actually love to see Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott, but that's not going to happen. I mean, Ruby Riott has had a chance to become champion before. She failed miserably. But they've had Natalya to become champion before. She failed miserably. And this will be Liv Morgan's and Sarah Logan's chance to become champion, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably fail miserably. The only out of those 6 women is one woman that will definitely have a big chance of ending the reign of Becky Lynch, and that is Shayna Baszler. And it's a big choice for her to be put up in that main event spot on Monday Night Raw and becoming your new Raw Women's Champion at WrestleMania. The crowd will go wild, and there'll be Shayna Baszler fighting for survival. And she says, and I quote, I should say, that she's gonna chew up every single one of these women in this matchup. Guess what? I reckon that's gonna happen. I reckon it'll be starting off against Natalya. Then she'll beat Natalya. Beat the shit out of her. She'll make her submit because Natalya's got the sharpshooter. She'll reverse it and go into the little coquina clutch thing that she has as a finisher. Then in comes Sarah Logan. And then they fight out, and for a bit, she knocks her out, perhaps put her through the cage. Sarah Logan's out for a bit. In comes Liv Morgan, all acting all funny. And he tries to kick her and punch her, and she goes to grabs Liv Morgan. Sarah Logan starts to get back up, and of course looks at Liv, because, you know, they are former Riot members. Even though it's everyone for herself, those two are still friends in a way, so she'll start beating up Shayna Baszler. In comes Ruby Riott, this is it. And then she'll start beating up both, just for she'll back away and go, hey, come on, let's take out the woman that could easily beat the shit out of us. So they take out Shayna Baszler, put her for a part or something. Shayna Baszler's out of the competition, out of it. They go back in the ring. It's the whole triangle that everyone's saying this is awesome. and there hasn't been elimination, and they're about to do the timer comes down, in comes Asuka, and now it's the four of them. Asuka starts doing her kicks to Liv, starts doing her kicks to Sarah, starts doing her kicks to Ruby. Ruby reverses a kick, does a right kick to her. She's out of the competition, goes back to them three again. Then they start their little brawl. Liv does a move to Ruby, Ruby does a move to Liv. Sarah Logan gets eliminated by Ruby Riott because she tries to intervene between Liv and Ruby. She gets hit with a right kick and 1, 2, 3. She's out. Shayna Baszler comes back up. She's looking at both Liv and Ruby. She beats the shit out of both Liv and Ruby. She pins Liv and then makes Ruby tap out. Then it's between her and Asuka. Asuka and her do a little back and forth. Asuka goes to do the Asuka lock. She rolls out of it, turns it into the cooking of the clutch. That's it. She taps out, onto struggling for a bit, and that's it. Once she taps out like a bitch, Shayna Baszler music's hit. She's going to WrestleMania, and then it will be Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch, after the match, the music hits. She comes out to the ring. She goes to Shayna, holds the Women's Championship up high, and fade to black. That is my predictions for WWE Elimination Chamber. As I said, I think Shayna, I want Shayna. Well, I don't necessarily want Shayna, but it's gonna happen. If I had to pick a person who I want to win, it'll be Ruby Riott, like I said. Not gonna happen though. Not gonna happen. So, there you go. That's my full predictions after interruptions. I'm sorry about that. But, you know, stuff happens. I am going to be watching the Elimination Chamber this Monday or Tuesday, whenever my next day off is. And I will do my full proper reactions and review for it. I am Danrvdtree2000, and those are known as down 2x15 on Xbox Live. And until next time, bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.